Hello there and welcome to Conversations About Conversations. My name is Ivan, I'm your host. This is a show for client-facing professionals. And this episode in particular is for client-facing professionals in the financial services industry. As I record this message, we have just been through one of the worst weeks in stock market history. And there's a lot of people who are fearful, a lot of conversations that need to be had to keep clients on the right path and also to keep prospects to do the right thing as well. So this episode is specifically for that. Although the model, CLEAR, which is the model in my book and the model in my course, is designed for any conversation, but I want to show you how I'm applying it to this specific situation right now. So first of all, the acronym CLEAR. CLEAR stands for create, listen, explore, address, and resolve. Clear conversations. And not only are the conversations clear, but actually each part of the conversation needs to be clear as well. Do you know what I mean? No, you maybe don't yet. So create. First of all, people are fearful. You want to be able to frame the conversation. What I mean by that is when people are fearful, they tend to get very dialectical. It's a disaster. It's not. Yes, no thinking, agree, disagree thinking. They want you to agree with them right away if they're fearful. So you want to frame the conversation that there are many ways to view the situation because when they're entering the conversation with you, they're actually thinking there's only one way to view it. This is danger, danger, danger. So start by framing it. What this does is it slows the action down because when someone is fearful, they're coming at you. I often will say it's like they're coming at you aggressively, like with a weapon. You want to slow the action down. Nobody's going to get hurt here. It's going to be okay. We're going to talk this through. This is a conversation that is going to make a difference, and how it's going to make the difference is by slowing things down. Set an agenda. Just because you think the agenda is addressing their fear or addressing what's going on in world events, like right now, there's a fear about a pandemic, global pandemic of the flu. An agenda really helps to slow the action down, to get it out of dialectical thinking, and really create a conversation that's going to work for you and work for them. You can start, though, by asking questions, making a quick statement. Hey, we think this situation is temporary. What do you think? How do you feel? How are you viewing it? What are you hearing? Now, this is a little bit off topic, but chapter 1 of my book is about building rapport and using different modalities. So some people are thinkers, some are feelers, some are visual. So how are they viewing it? Some are auditory. So what are you hearing? Some are kinesthetic, like feelers, but that kind of goes along with think and feel. What's amazing is how many times you'll say something like, what do you think? And they'll go, well, here's how I feel. So once they start down that road, again, as an aside to rapport, you can go down that road too. Well, what exactly do you feel? Why do you feel that way? Things like that. So that begins to create it. So you have an agenda, you have got them out of dialectical thinking, you've slowed the action down, you're able to create this conversation. Now, instead of giving facts and figures and you giving a lecture, it's time for you to listen. Active listening is a great tool in your repertoire, a tool in your toolbox, and empathy is really important. Patience is a part of listening, like really listen. And if you frame it correctly and you ask them, what do you think? What are you seeing? How are you doing it? That's really important. I'll do a separate episode on active listening, but for now, that's the L in CLEAR. Explore. Journalist questions. Not, are you concerned, but what are you concerned about? It gets them off of the fact that they haven't really thought about it. They're fearful, they're panicked. What and how are the two best journalist questions? Like, what are you concerned about? How are you thinking? How are you viewing this? How do you think we should proceed? These are all ways that you can explore the facts, the feelings, the circumstances, the needs and wants of your client. Your goal when you're exploring is not to get topics focused, but to get needs focused. I'll do a lot of training on this as well. You are seeking a clear, and I realize I'm double using the word clear, but here, clear, complete, and mutual understanding of their needs. Maybe they wanted the conversation to just be reassuring. Maybe they wanted the conversation to give them facts. Maybe they wanted to have a conversation that would take action. You're seeking to understand that, and you're asking the journalist questions to do that. Then you're asking closed-ended questions, or I call them the Dr. Seuss questions, which is, do you, are you, did you, have you, after the book Green Eggs and Ham and Sam I Am, is, do you want it in a box? Do you want it with a fox? Would you eat it here or there? So you're using a combination of journalist questions and then confirming with Dr. Seuss questions to get a clear, complete, mutual understanding of their needs. Got it? That's a Dr. Seuss question. What do you think we should do? Do you want or think we need to do something different? After we do that, what's next? What's the plan? So if their goal is to get me out, they're not thinking about it. They're fearful. It's very all or nothing. Asking open-ended question like, what would you think of proceeding in a staged process? Like, we get you half out now and we evaluate, or what would you think about evaluating over the course of a week? You're exploring that, but ultimately you're looking for what their needs are. Their needs could be reassurance. Their needs could be a plan. Their needs could be to get a professional guidance. That's what you're looking for, to get a clear, complete, and mutual understanding of. Then you can address. Now, you've shown a lot of discipline so far by setting a framework, by listening, by setting an agenda. Address is where people almost always start. They want to give facts and perspective. They want to give logic and discipline. They want to lecture. What I have been doing and what I recommend doing is saying, look, let's talk about it from a very basic framework. Let's talk about what's missing, and that's facts and perspective, and logic and discipline. And let's talk about what's present. Misinformation, media hype, fear and panic. By doing this, you engage them in a dialogue. There's many different places you could go. If they want facts, if their need is for facts, and you say, well, you can do something I call dessert tray, which you say, would you like to see the dessert tray? And they say, sure. Versus you just throwing pie in their face, what I call pie face. We just throw facts and figures at them. Well, this has never been a problem before, and we don't think this. So what's missing? Is it missing for them? And once they say, yeah, I would eat that dessert, or I'd look at the tray. That's how you address, and there's many ways to address too. And then you resolve. And with resolve, I have an acronym that I call IRS PR. I remember it because the IRS usually needs PR, but it's just language that you can use to offer and then seek some kind of resolution. So I invite you to consider waiting a little bit before you do anything. That's very soft. Then you could be a little more specific. Is, look, I request you think about this for, just sleep on it, 24 hours. You could make a suggestion. Hey, I suggest you do a little bit more reading, or I suggest you look at some materials that I'm about to send you and then think about it just for a couple hours. I have a proposal or I have a recommendation. I could do a whole course on getting people to agree to action. That's what ultimately my book is all about. The 10th chapter is called Resolve and Gain Agreement for Action. Every conversation, in my opinion, should be resolved in some way, shape, or form. Thank you for watching so far. Just to reiterate, CLEAR is create, listen, explore, address, and resolve. I want to offer you some additional resources if you are interested in more about the thinking, methodology, frameworks that I'm putting forth for you. One resource is my show. It's called Conversations About Conversations. You're participating in it right now, but not everybody knows you can watch it on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and also on podcast versions, Google Play, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Also, there's my book, Conversations, How to Manage Your Business Relationships One Conversation at a Time. I created a bit.ly, bit.ly/conversations on Amazon. We'll take you right to it, although you can also just go on Amazon and type in Conversations, How to Manage Your Business Relationships One Conversation at a Time. If you just put in conversations, there's actually a lot of books with the title, with conversations in the title. I also do periodic conversations roundtable, live online events. So unlike this one that's recorded, there's an event where you could participate on the screen just like this and have the opportunity to ask questions and do some role play if that makes sense. And then finally, Conversations the course. You can learn more about Conversations the course. It's a month-long coaching program at conversations.biz/preview. Thank you for being a part of this conversation about conversations. Good luck with dealing with people who are panicked. We just had one of the worst weeks in history. And as you're looking at this video, we could have the second worst week in history, or could turn around. Either way, what I know is this: after having been in financial services for 25 years, these are the conversations that make a difference on how people's lives work out. So go forth, make a good effort, and hopefully you can use some of what you've learned in today's episode. Thank you.